Your breath is short tonight. Shallow, quick, caught somewhere between your chest and your throat. You've tried to slow it down, haven't you? Tried to breathe deeper, tried to let go, but the thoughts keep circling back, pulling you under again and again. You're not failing. You're human. And God, He already knows. He knows the weight you're carrying tonight. He knows the list you can't stop rehearsing in your mind. The thing you said, the thing you didn't say, the decision that feels too big, the fear that feels too close. He knows all of it, and He has not stepped back. He is here, not because you prayed the right prayer or because your faith feels strong tonight. He is here because He promised, and His promises don't rise and fall with the state of your nervous system. Listen, in the stillness, beneath the noise of your mind, there is a voice. It's quiet, so quiet you might miss it if you're straining too hard. It doesn't shout over your anxiety. It doesn't argue with your fear. It simply speaks. Come to me, not when you're better, not when you've figured it out, not when your mind finally calms down. Now, come to me. All you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Rest, not as a reward for getting it right. Rest as a gift. Rest as an invitation. Rest as the place where you stop performing and start receiving. Jesus didn't say, "Come to me when you have your life together." He said, "Come to me when you're falling apart." And so you come. Not with confidence, not with clarity. You come tired. You come anxious. You come with a mind that won't stop and a heart that won't settle. And He receives you. He doesn't fix you first. He holds you first. There's a moment in Scripture, so brief you could miss it, where the disciples are in a boat and the storm is raging and they are terrified, completely undone, and Jesus is asleep while the wind is screaming, while the waves are crashing over the sides, while everything feels like it's about to break apart, and they wake Him, frantic, desperate. Don't you care that we're perishing? Don't you see what's happening here? Don't you feel the chaos? Don't you understand how bad this is? And Jesus stands. He doesn't lecture them. He doesn't explain the physics of the storm. He doesn't give them a 5-step plan to manage their fear. He speaks to the storm. Peace, be still. And it stops. The wind dies. The waves flatten. The chaos that felt unstoppable simply stops. But here's the part that matters tonight. He didn't calm the storm because the storm was the problem. He calmed the storm because His children were afraid. He didn't rebuke the wind because the wind offended Him. He rebuked it because it was tormenting the people He loved. And that same voice, the one that silenced the wind and flattened the sea, is speaking tonight, not to your circumstances, to your soul. Peace, be still. He's not asking you to fix your thoughts. He's not waiting for you to get control of your emotions. He's speaking directly to the storm inside you and commanding it to settle. You don't have to make it happen. You just have to let him. Breathe slowly in and out. Feel the air fill your lungs. Feel your chest rise. Feel the tension start to soften. Just a little, just enough. You've been fighting so hard tonight, fighting to control, fighting to stay ahead of the fear, fighting to make sense of things that don't make sense yet. But what if tonight you stopped fighting? Not because you're giving up, but because you're giving in to the presence of a God who is not afraid of your anxiety. Giving in to the love of a Father who doesn't measure your worth by the state of your mind. Giving in to the gentle, unshakable truth that you are held. Even when you feel like you're unraveling. There's a psalm, written by a man who knew sleepless nights. David, a king, a warrior, a man after God's own heart, who also battled fear, depression, and crushing anxiety. He wrote this, "In peace I will lie down and sleep, for you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety." In peace, not after peace, not once peace arrives. In the middle of peace, he lies down, because peace, for David, wasn't the absence of danger. It was the presence of God. He didn't say, "When my enemies are gone, I'll rest." He said, "Because you are here, I can rest now." And that's the gift tonight. Not that your circumstances will change before morning. Not that your mind will suddenly go quiet, but that in the middle of the noise, in the center of the uncertainty, there is a place of safety, and that place is Him. God is not asking you to trust that everything will be okay. He's asking you to trust that He will be with you, no matter what okay looks like. And that changes everything, because you're not walking into tomorrow alone. You're not facing the unknown by yourself. You're not carrying this weight on your own strength. He is carrying you, even now. Even as your mind races, even as your heart pounds, even as you wonder if you'll ever feel normal again, He is carrying you, and He will not drop you. Listen again. Beneath the thoughts, beneath the fear, beneath the noise, there's a heartbeat, steady, strong, unchanging. It's not yours, it's His. And tonight, you can let your heartbeat sync with His. You can let your breathing slow to match the rhythm of His peace. You can stop striving and start resting, not because you've earned it, but because He's offering it. There's another moment, another storm in the life of the disciples. This time, Jesus isn't in the boat. He's walking on the water, and Peter, bold, impulsive Peter, sees Him and says, "Lord, if that's you, tell me to come." And Jesus says one word, "Come." And Peter steps out. He walks on water for a moment. He actually does it. His feet hold. The impossible becomes possible. And then he sees the wind. He feels the waves. He remembers where he is. He remembers that this doesn't make sense. And he starts to sink. And he cries out, "Lord, save me." And immediately, Jesus reaches out and catches him. Not after a lecture. Not after Peter apologizes. Not after Peter promises to do better next time. Immediately, Jesus doesn't let him sink. He doesn't wait to see if Peter will figure it out on his own. He reaches out and he holds him. That's who he is. Not the God who waits for you to get it together, the God who reaches for you the moment you cry out. And tonight, you can cry out. You don't need the right words. You don't need eloquent prayers. You don't need to explain yourself or justify your fear. You just need to say, "Lord, save me." And He will. He already is. He's been reaching for you all along, while you've been trying to keep it together, while you've been pushing through, while you've been pretending you're fine. He's been reaching, and now you can let Him catch you. Let your body soften. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw unclench. Let the weight you've been holding fall. You don't have to carry it through the night. God is strong enough to hold what you cannot. There's a verse tucked into the book of Philippians that feels impossible most days. Do not be anxious about anything. And every anxious person who's ever read that has thought, well, that's helpful. But Paul doesn't stop there. He says, in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. Present your requests, not hide them, not fix them first, not wait until they're reasonable. Present them, bring them, lay them down, hand them over, and then this. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds. Guard, not as a feeling, not as an emotion you generate, but as a presence, a force, a protection that stands watch over the most vulnerable parts of you. The peace of God doesn't make sense. It doesn't wait for logic. It doesn't require you to understand. It transcends understanding because it comes from a place beyond your mind. It comes from His heart, and it's available even now, even in the middle of this sleepless, anxious, restless night, even when your thoughts are tangled, even when your chest feels tight, even when you can't imagine how tomorrow will be okay. The peace of God is here, not because you've calmed yourself down, but because He is calm and He is near. You can stop now, stop trying, stop forcing, stop pushing yourself to feel something you don't feel. You can just be tired, be anxious, be restless, and be loved, because God's love for you doesn't fluctuate with your mental state. It doesn't rise when you're strong and fall when you're weak. It's not conditional. It's not fragile. It's steady, like a rock, like a foundation, like the ground beneath your feet that doesn't shift, even when everything else does. And tonight, you can rest on that. Not because you've figured anything out, not because you've solved the problems, not because your mind has finally quieted, but because He is trustworthy and you are safe. Breathe again, slowly, in and out. And as you breathe, imagine this. You're standing at the edge of a vast ocean. The water stretches out farther than you can see, and you've been told all your life that you have to cross it. You have to figure out how. You have to build the boat. You have to navigate the waves. You have to make it to the other side on your own, and you're exhausted because you've been trying, you've been working, You've been doing everything you know how to do, and you're still standing on the shore, still anxious, still stuck, still afraid. And then you hear a voice. You were never meant to cross it. You turn, and Jesus is standing there, and he's holding out his hand. You were never meant to cross it. He says again, you were meant to trust me and let me carry you. So you take his hand, and he lifts you, and you realize you don't have to know the way. You don't have to be strong enough. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to hold on, and he does the rest. That's what tonight is. Not a test, not a trial you have to pass, not something you have to get through alone. It's an invitation to let go, to be held, to trust that the God who calmed the sea can calm your mind, to believe that the God who walked on water can walk with you through this, to rest in the arms of a Father who doesn't grow tired and will not let you fall. Your breathing is slowing now, your body is softening, and somewhere, deep beneath the noise, you can feel it. Peace, not loud, not flashy, not dramatic, just there, quiet, steady, real. The peace that doesn't make sense, but somehow holds you anyway. And you can sleep now. Not because everything is resolved, not because the fear is gone, not because tomorrow is guaranteed to be easy, but because tonight you are not alone. God is here. He has been here all along, and he will be here when you wake. Rest now. Let your eyes close. Let your mind drift. Let the weight fall away. You are safe. You are loved. You are held. And that is enough.